Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to that hit show, man. A story written by a current prisoner with your favorite journalist, Tony, man. Just doing his thing. As always, man, we got one hell of a guest, man. One juicy topic, man. That's going to serve as a precautionary tale for you youngsters out there, man. Hopefully you guys can get something from it, man. But we're not going to waste no time whatsoever. Let's dive right into it. Scrappy the Butcher, my boy, man. How you doing, big dog?
Man, just right here, man, doing another day up in this weather right here, bro. I mean, macking and mobbing and, trying to stay out the way, bro. Right here in Kern Valley State Prison.
That's right, my boy. That's right, my boy. I'm glad you're doing well, man. Go ahead and check out his book on Amazon. The link will be in the description and in the comment section.
Oh, man, my book, Malice in the Seat, bro, that's pretty much a biography, from birth to date, man, what's been going on and, my travels, man, the wars, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the tragedy, the whole from beginning to end, man, everything in between. And it's backed up and supported by documentation, my validations, everything, I'm all about facts, bro. So, I mean, it's always going to be, if it ain't on paper, I really don't even speak on it if it ain't on paper. I mean, if it ain't on paper, then, it shouldn't be spoke on because that's something you got away with. So, my other book, A Generation of Challenge, it's also on Amazon. It's a youth gang counselor handbook. That was always my passion growing up to, speak on what I knew and what I lived around in my environment and, how it would, impact other lives from the life that I lived. So, I like to give back, and pretty much just I don't want nobody falling down this path, man. This is a twisted path, man, with, journeys that don't need to be taken, man, if you just take the right steps and, as Tony said, man, take those precautions, man, because this is a twisted, evil world, and, there's a lot of evil men in it, and who don't care about you and don't care about, what's the impact is going to happen to you, your family, and the time you're going to spend wasted, behind these walls, because, it's not there's nothing luxurious or appeasing or even entertaining about this life. It may be something people want to watch on a movie, but it's not. It's a lot of downtime, a lot of just sitting with your thoughts or occupying yourself either on these phones, these tablets, these games or books, and it's a lot of waste of time when you could be out there, studying or making money, working and being with your family, supporting, grown man, something on a grown man tip. And my other book, my last book was The Ties That Bind. It's 101, qualities, attributes and characteristics of gang members and, how they're defined. And, I give a little story about them, about how I've seen it or personally experienced this quality within myself. And, then I give the reader, if he's in the gang counseling world, the youth outreach world, a way to, pull that individual out of that, or just lead them down a different path, and I give them, a couple little resources and tools that may work, and like I said, man, my books are out there, man, just to express what I've been through in life. Like I said, man, I stay with my documentation on there, so, you got to stick to facts. I'm not just going to speak on something, man, and not have lived it. And, a lot of people don't understand, it's very easy to, butcher somebody or shoot somebody or do something like that. But it's the consequence of living that you have to live with. It's kind of a tightrope to walk because, you can lean either way and, you either collapse, on yourself or, you can deal with it and harden yourself to a point where, you don't feel nothing. And, yeah, man, my books are out there, and I'm just hoping that they can be a study for somebody to help change another course, divert a course from where I'm at today.
Go ahead and check them out on Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Scrappy bro, man. We've always heard about these unfortunate circumstances that happen, man. These bad calls, man. Some people that get they get hurt behind gang politics, this gang violence, man. And unfortunately, some of these individuals might think that they don't have it coming or that they didn't have it coming, but nevertheless, they still got. Are there some bad calls that even till this day that you still remember that you think back and you're like, man, that wasn't right?
Yeah, man, I remember when I first hit DVI in the year 2000, I came from Preston CYA for license-induced throat, a Southsider, and I pulled up. And as I said before, man, everybody's like, man, you got to be careful, don't get involved in politics. That's the quickest way to ruin your career, and to put your foot in something that you don't know about, and you may make a mistake that may cost you, either a scar or may cost you your life, because the homies they will book you. They will book you. So when I first got there, it was something big had just happened. The homie Chuco from Stockton, who was a carnal, he had just got hit. He got hit on the yard, on the 6-yard in K-Wing, right there in Tracy, in DVI. And, I'm like, well, what happened to that fool? And, it's all over. And there's a lot of treachery involved in politics, man. There's a lot of it. So what happened at the time, we had an individual named Spider who was there, was a carnal, but was in bad standing. Well, the way it works is, and nobody knows this individual is in bad standing, and it has the same rank or status, they can't question or debate this individual unless they get a higher up's permission to do so. So he pushes through, comes back.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He's on a violation, and he takes control.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
He takes control of the whole prison, and with that influence, he built a wall around himself because he's in bad standing, mind you. So he has to protect himself. So everybody who can be a potential threat to him, he has knocked down. Now, this one individual, Chuco from Stockton, he came back courtesy parole from the SHU, which is, you have to, when you're being paroled from the SHU and you're high powered, you're validated or whatnot, you have to go to the prison that's closest to your parole region, and your father has to pick you up, and drive you home. So Chuco comes through, he comes through like a week before he's supposed to parole, and he hits the yard. Well, Spider knows this individual is one of the highest threats that can possibly be against him, because he knows this individual's case, he knows everything. So before Chuco can even hit the yard, he deems this individual no good to all the homies that know him.
All right, Big Alex Broski, man. Go ahead and continue, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, this individual Spider had already planted the seeds in everybody's mind on the yard, all the 4-yard collective, the northerners, the bros, and, anything that the seeds were there. And he already had, put it in their head that this individual, if he comes out to the yard, he has to be got. He has to be got. And, they don't, the only thing you can do as manpower, as somebody who doesn't have rank or status, is to follow orders. So, they can't question or debate him because he's been the one running the yard, and so far they haven't heard anything bad. And, so they're like, okay. So when you hit the hole, anytime you go to the hole, you have to be within 3 to 7 days. You're going to go to committee, and committee's going to clear you if you can go to a yard. In the hole at that time, they had group yards. There was a northern and black yard, and you had the southern and white yard in the hole. And because Tracy is a northern prison, there's two group yards for the northern Mexicans and blacks. So this happened on one of the 4 yards, and the yard was called the 4 yard. The yard was called number 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 4 yard happened to be the northern black yard in the hole. So while Chuco's in the process of waiting to go to committee, this dude, he can't come out the yard yet. So this dude Spider's over here smugging him up, this and that. So, Chuco's a very high-ranking, carnal, and a good dude, and, had a lot of love especially from his area, from the, San Joaquin County. And, nothing was ever wrong with this individual. He was always a staunch, loyal carnal. And Spider, being, who he was in bad standing, he was going to protect himself. He protected himself, and he wanted to maintain his position right there where he's getting dope, he's getting money, and, he's getting looked out for, and, he liked the comforts of being a good standing seat. So, Chuco comes out, and, Spider has, 2, 3 of the manpower get on him. They got on him. They booked him. I mean, they really messed him up. They really messed him up. And, the messed up thing was that they hurt him so bad that, you know, we carry, like when you're active, you have us at that kite, you have roster, BNLs, or whatever, depending on what your position is within the chain of command. And, you know, him being a C, he had a lot of kites going to the street from, you know, from the shoe where he had just come from a lot of the carnales and things that need to be handled, you know, accordingly in the regiments out there. So they hit him so bad that dude, those kites, a little bundle of kites that he had to wrap and surround around. And, you know, as the homies are beating this food down, they see it because he's trying to, like, get away, and he stuff out. You know, he defecated it out. And, you know, it was sad, man, because, you know, this poor OG, you know, he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong but show up and do his duty and, you know, touch down and be like, look, I'm going to go out there. This is what's supposed to be done. And, you know, it was messed up because, you know, they made the poor OG, you know, he defecated his bundle out. And another homie seen it and had to go over, pick it up, grab it, you know, wipe it off when we could because they're on the ground. The cops are telling them to get down. They're shooting the block gun and whatnot, but, you know, the homies are still on. You know, they're serving them. And the other homie who wipes down the bundle, he has no other choice. He can't reach behind him and put it in his, you know, his head. So, you know, he puts it in his mouth. And he puts it in his mouth, man. And that's really disgusting. And, you know, but these are the things that you have to do to maintain security and vitality because, you know, they thought this individual was all bad, but, you know, it's messed up because these manpower that did it, manpower is just a basic soldado, you know, the northerners, or a bro, you know, who's functioning within a carnal extension, you know, yard. These individuals later on down the line were also, you know, attacked and hit. They were hit because they hit a carnal that was in good standing. They listened to somebody who they also thought was a carnal in good standing. And, you know, it was a trickle-down effect, man. It was messed up because that dude Spider not only ruined, you know, his own career, but, you know, he ruined, you know, 3 other individuals who, you know, all they were doing was following orders. And that's all you can do when you're just a millionaire. You know, all you can do is just follow orders and you know, expect them to be legit. And you expect them to, you know, you have blind faith that they're never going to lead you down a wrong path. And, you know, it's messed up because, you know, they didn't know any better. They were just doing what they were told. And, you know, that's the messed up thing, though. I mean, not every man is good. Not every man has you know, the right intentions. And some of these individuals will wield their power to, you know, to assert their own gains. And this just happened to be, you know, one of those instances. Another one I could think of is another homie from the San Joaquin Valley, another carnal that came through, you know, who happened to be a friend of mine who's now rest in peace, you know, Canica from Stockton, who was a carnal that had the, and at first, he had the purse at the time, which was Treasury, which is, you know, pretty much the regiment, collective, you know, gains and funds and dope and whatnot they have out there in the safe.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He maintained the Treasury. Well, he comes in on a violation to Tracy, you know, basic violation, and the homies right there, the carnals that are there, some of them have higher status and whatnot, they're like, hey, where's the purse at? Where's everything? We need that. We'll turn that in, you know, let us know where it's at, and we'll have somebody go pick it up out on the street. Well, the homie had that stash somewhere, buried out there somewhere in the boonies, in French Camp or somewhere. And, you know, he's not going to give that information to these individuals because he doesn't report to them. Like, I don't report to you, bro. Like, bro, when I get back to the Bay in a couple months, they will know where everything's at. They'll know. And, I mean, these are the people that I contact. But as far as you knowing, I don't have orders to give you that information. So, long story short, man, these individuals take that as, you know, disrespect. Like, man, we need this out here. This is what's going on right now. We need to do this. We need to make this move and that move. And the homie's like, look, brother, like, you weren't even a part of my regiment out there. You guys are from Sacramento. Like, how you going to tell me that you need to know where the San Joaquin regiment treasury's at? Like, you know, I'm not giving you the bag. You're not doing that. You ain't doing all that. So, you know, these individuals, they assigned 2 other homies to get on them and stuff. I mean, one of them was my good homie Philly. He's from SAC. And, they get on the OG, man, but the OG, he ain't no slouch, man. That's what was giving it back. They tried to grab his Mongolian and serve him, but, this fool, he gave it back to him. And it was messed up because, this individual at the same time, as I just said, he was just following orders. His orders were to only contact these specific individuals about that money, about these drugs. And, yeah, man, it's cold, man. It's cold because at the end of the day, you're following orders. You're doing what you're supposed to do, what you think you're supposed to do, and you're sticking to it, man. You're being loyal. And, loyalty, that's everything. But to some individuals, greed is, it's an ugly thing that'll rear its head every time you see it day in, day out, even over here. It's sad, but, I can give you another instance where I had a homie, a friend of mine who I grew up with, he was a bro. He was a bro in San Jose, functioning in the regiment for many years, He did his thing, had a tow truck business, whatnot, and, supported the NS financially in many, many ways. And, he was a good soul out on the street. Later became a rider and later became a anti-sympathizer. But this individual was functioning at the time, this was like early 2000s. And as a functioning soul out on the street, when he gets busted, he expects, that homies on the street that he functions with, side by side, are going to look after, his people, his kids, his ruka, everything, And, yeah, man, it was messed up because at the time there was a couple brothers running San Jose. They were from TC, though. And the homie gets busted, and I guess, he had to find a good.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He had a good-looking old lady, and another homie that had just started functioning with the regiment, started messing with her. And the big homies caught wind of it, and were like, hey, bro, what's going on with that? And then they were like, hey, he was like, look, bro, I'm just doing this with the woo, man. Ain't nobody got to know about it, this and that. I'll give you more. They pretty much you can pay the rent for the assignments, to not expose that, because under the northern, under the northern edict,
Three-way call alert.
Violation of bond forward, you cannot mess with, disrespect, or try to get with another homie's old lady. And we take that oath right there, man, very, very seriously up north. And pretty much, man, long story short, man, is they end up allowing this individual to mess with another homie's old lady, and keeping it under wraps. And the homie gets out, and he finds out about this whole thing that went down, from another homie who was out there functioning. And yeah, man, it wasn't good. The homie came out one of the brothers and he shot him. He shot him. He didn't die or anything, but he shot him for allowing this behavior to take place. Because this dude's a righteous functioning northerner. And that's like unheard of for another homie to mess with another homie's old lady. So, this in turn got him, put in the hat, because he lashed out and he hit a Carnal's brother, and they're not even from the same city, but still at the same time, man, like that's something you don't do. And there were some homies on the side saying, what, that was wrong, fool, like that fool deserved that, put the boob, and and on the other side you got homies, nah, but it didn't matter, he crossed the line, red on red crime, so he's all bad. And long story short, man, they tried to get him out there, and they had a team looking for him and whatnot, and later on he joined us, became a rider, and and later on an anti-sympathizer. But these things happen, man. You think that your boys got your back, and that the higher ups are gonna they're gonna live by all the standards and policies that are set before them, but they don't. Often they're gonna tweak all those standards, they're gonna tweak all those policies and the rules and the bylaws to benefit themselves, or however they see fit, in their own delusional mind of I'm running the show. And these rules are there, but I'm above that, that type of thing. And what happens is a lot of good homies get trampled on because of it. The last example I want to give, is I had a good homie, man, that I grew up with, and why, this was because someone I consider a brother, and this was more recent. Recent history. And this individual from the main line, And I guess at the time, the NF had an investigation going on. I don't know if there was a bunch of cell phones that were given, the IGI gave to certain individuals to sell to the NF or within the NF, because there's always informants within any group. People can say, oh, this and that, man. There's way more informants on the main line than there is on this side because there ain't nothing really to speak on over here. So in this particular yard, they were passing out cell phones that were wired and, they were bugged by IGI. There was any software within the settings that IGI can see everything that you're doing. So it gets found out, and I guess they put out the word, anybody that has a phone needs to turn that in, and with the rule, nobody except DNF, nobody except the carnales can have phones, because they trusted themselves, but they didn't trust everybody below. So my boy happened to disregard that. He disregarded that information, and somebody else that I grew up with, I don't know why this individual did this, but, homie from my hood, he reports them. Because within the NF and Northern bylaws, if you see a homie doing something wrong, you're supposed to report them. So basically, you're supposed to snitch. They teach you how to snitch. So this individual goes and tells,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Hey, these fools got phones over here. So they're like, what? Okay, I thought I want to play it with the group. When I set an example. So my homie's on the yard, and he's out there, chilling, doing his thing, and he gets moved on by 3-4 individuals, with knives or whatnot. They book him, but he fights back. And that's my wide dog, man. He's been through the show. He's been up there in the field. So, while this is all going down, his cellie, who happens to be one of his relatives, is in the cell with somebody getting tattoos done. And it was all a setup, man. It was all a setup as his family said, hey, what's going on out there? And Sally knew that he was going to hear the bell out there and whatnot. And he told us, hey, go check that out. Go check that out. My homie's relative. And as he went to go check that out, his Sally came, as the individual getting his tattoos done, the individual in the cell with him tells him, hey, go check that out, man. Go see what's happening out there. And he comes from behind him as the homie goes and checks up the door. And, he proceeds to, strangle him, until the homie expires, until he's dead. And, this all happened just because, individuals didn't want to give up the cell phones. They overpriced, all these main lines, they overpriced cell phones, $3,500 and $4,000 and whatnot. If your homie, you're going to charge him that much? Okay, well, I guess, but, they pay good money for that, so they're not trying to give that up. Look, bro, I've been had this thing for so-and-so how many years, for how many months. This ain't got no software. I'm going software. It's not from that batch of phones. And, I ended up running into my homie later on, when I ended up blasting these rider dudes and corking them. Damn, bro, that's some cold, that's a cold turn of events, man, because, man, like that, bro. And then the fact that my homie from my hood that, started this up with me, he reported them on that, man. Bro, man, bro, very disappointing, bro. Yeah, that's crazy, man, because, you're supposed to be, and we're all white together. That's your white brother, man. And, our white brothers, man, we take that very serious, and that's a bond, unbreakable bond right there. And, I'm just trying to say, man, that you can be crushed for something very simple on these lines. And these individuals don't care about you. They don't, man, you're expendable. All you are is a bed space, and you'll be refilled once, if you leave or lock it up or get done dirty or, get hit. Hey, man, there's going to be somebody else filling in that bed space. And you're just going to come to the other side and, either be anti all that, man, or, try to change your life, man. But, I'm trying to holler at you before you even enter the system and before you even got to go through all that, man. Change a different course out there, man. It's very easy, man. It's a lot easier to be a screw up and to be out there in the field, man, and get caught up. I get it, man. I wish I would have pulled the plug, when I was ahead in the game out there. And, and I would have just had that experience to live off of and then just went on as an ordinary man. But, now, this cold, dank place, man. This is why this is what I call home. And, you know, it is what it is, but, man, I wish I would have gotten this type of guidance and this type of, you know, this illumination, man, enlighten me, man, like the big homies, man, all they want to do is just, you know, tell you how cool it is upstate and how this and that, I was doing this. Like, I mean, you ain't paying rent, they giving you all your food and getting high with the homies and doing this and that, but you know what, it ain't all that. It ain't all that, and that ain't all that fun, because, like, when you ain't doing all that, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of things that can go on, and, you know, you're wasting your personal time, man. You only get this one life. And, you know, that's what I got to say about that, man. Just change a different course, man, and just pick up on something, anything that I said within these stories, man, because it could be you. It could be you, your best friend. It could be your son one day, you know, comes to the system. I mean, just change the course, man, so your family and the next generation, man, ain't gotta, you know, see the inside of these walls. Well, man, you know, I really don't like addressing my haters out there, man, but, you know, I see is every other day, you know, every twice a week, 3 times a week, you know, I got people online with my name in their mouth, you know. If I wasn't really out here in the field, if I really wasn't out here doing something, you know, if I wasn't really out here making these moves, they wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So I guess, you know, these individuals were name dropping and, you know, try to act like they know me, they've been on a yard with me, like this individual Gay Hand. I never met this dude. This dude wasn't on the yard when I was on the yard. He came afterwards. He was a non-factor. And, you know, I don't know, I guess he's trying to get, viewers on his little side or whatnot, his little channel. But I don't understand it, bro. Like, this individual was on the main line with my homie Sleepy from Delano, who's right here with me, my dog. And, you know, my homie was involved in something where, you know, a Southsider ended up getting, you know, losing his life. And this individual, you know, he informed on him. You know, he cooperated with the authorities and came to this side. And this individual, Gay Hand, you know, he became a writer. And I mean, I don't correlate whatever happened to his position within the writer, movement or whatever they're calling it now. But that individual is no good with his own people. And, you know, I guess, he wants to take shots or whatnot, like, bro, like, I mean, really? Like, you that thirsty, bro? Like, you need followers on your channel? Like, bro, like, I mean, you know you got to come back one day, man, and, you know, you're just making some really poor decisions out there. I mean, just speaking on things that you don't know about. I mean, like we know who you are, manita. Like, come on, bro. Like, you behave, bro. Just settle down, bro. Because, I mean, you ain't about that life, and, I mean, you ain't built like that. Never have been. I mean, you're just somebody like me. I mean, just speaking. You got a little platform right now, and, you know, like, this is a real world. I live in the reality, bro. Like, I mean, really, bro? Like, I mean, you won't hit our yard? Come on, bro, you'll lock it up. Just like this individual from there, I mean, who's pretty much cooperating with the feds, bro. I just had IGI come last week about a roster. And it's pretty funny, man. It's pretty funny because, you know, IGI just came for 2 weeks. The state police, the SSU, they just hit our whole yard right here, you know, CR, validating and whatnot. And, you know, they present this roster of supposed, you know, NC affiliates and associates, which, you know, can never be confirmed, you know, like, I mean, that's not something we do, but, you know, as someone who calls himself still a member of a group, why are you reading this online and performing? You know, you're performing for law enforcement. Like, I don't understand it. And you got the public applauding, like, your behavior for this. Like, come on, bro. Like, I mean, kick back, but that's not the game. You don't give the authorities who is who. Because, I mean, you might as well get on the stand, bro. Because, I mean, that's not gangster, bro. Like, I mean, if I was you, bro, I would focus on better things, man. Focus on building up some cash and revenue, bro. Because it feel like y'all out there hungry, bro. Y'all ribs touching or something. I don't know, but you were level 3, bro. When you came to this side, when you came to level 4, there was already a war. You speaking on things you don't know, bro. And I'll say the same thing to you, bro. Make better choices. Because you know damn well you can't go to rider yards. And if you hit one of our yards, you're going to lock it up. You know what time it is. I mean, that's all that needs to be said, man. Like, And then man, I'm gonna back up off even entertaining y'all, bro. Y'all just some guppies who ain't even deal within your own folks. So I mean, that's all I gotta say about that, man. But if you want to keep running my name in your mouth, man, I hope it tastes sour every time, bro. But I'm over here laughing, bro, because you ripping me, bro. And I mean, people are buying my books and whatnot. I mean, I'll tell you what, gracias, bro. I mean, thank you for the sales. I'm out.